Greetings out there. You made it this far. You made it to the last damn volume of this series. Give yourself a motherfucking hand. Pat yourself on the back. You know what I'm saying? Buy you the most expensive snack. You know what I mean? Because this is going to be a little bit shorter. This is the last volume. We're dealing with the epilogue of my Occult Microbiology 101 ebook. This is Alex Will 64. So let's get right to it. And for those of you that have an issue with the stuff that I do before I begin or continue on the presentation, you do know that there's scrubbing you can do at the bottom of the video where you can put your thumb or your finger. I would presume you can use your index finger. I would prefer those digits. You can use that to move the cursor on the at the bottom of the video to the parts of the video you want to start listening to. So get used to that exercise. You know what I'm saying? Good finger and thumb exercise. You know what I mean? So let's begin. So I got a few sayings right here, a few proverbs, little sayings I came up with. You know what I'm saying? I speak the genius of my composition. Some I came up with maybe last year or maybe earlier this year. Yeah, I think it was last year. Where I'm saying that whatever designed who I am, from the physical to the spiritual and beyond, has to be genius. You know what I'm saying? So whether this was done by a third party or I was directly involved with the creation of what I am and did not, I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? I have to say whoever was involved or whatever was involved has to be genius. So I strive to speak the genius of my, you know what I mean, speak about and speak of and speak from the viewpoint of that genius of my composition. You know what I'm saying? And that, like I said, that's something to strive for. You know, if this is about remembrance of what you once were, like for example, if you was the one who created who you are and what you are and you just don't remember and you have to recollect that, remember that, you know what I'm saying? That's that level of genius that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And then we have, man, read thyself and thou shalt know the literature of the gods, which is another version of the original or not adver, I was about to say adver, proverb. There we go. Man, know thyself and thou shalt know the universe and the gods or the deities. And I've been saying know thyself damn near ever since I got on Instagram or social media, as far as like, you know, trying to spread this type of knowledge of metaphysics or spirituality or any type of, you know, quote unquote consciousness or wokeness or whatever you want to call it. Always came back to know thyself, whether I was dealing with any of these different ideologies or spiritual systems. It always went back to, and the common denominator was know thyself. But here we have read thyself, since we're dealing with spirisemiotics, spiritual signs, spiritual symbols, veves, adinkra, you know what I'm saying? Sigils, you know what I'm saying? Letters, script on a genetic or spirigenetic level. And then I have my only through darkness can one discover the brightest light. Something I've been saying since I was in high school. So, you know, this is always about, you know, darkness visible. You know what I mean? And as far as the title of this epilogue, Coagula, it goes with the title of my prologue of this ebook, Solving Coagula, which is a formula or a procedure done in alchemy where you are vaporizing or volatilizing a substance to purify it and then to bring it back down through coagulation or condensation, you know, back down to a solid again, or back to a lower state of matter. So you're going from a low state of matter to a high state of that same phase. Or hold on, let me rephrase that. You're going from solid to a higher phase of matter back down to a solid or a liquid or something physical. And that's the secret to the alchemical work. So you're taking your essence away from your physical. You're purifying it, doing all the processes to it to rectify it, reformat it, restructure it, transmute it, and then it's coming back into the physical. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you call the God man, God woman, demigod, demigoddess, or whatever you want to call it. New species, rebus, you know what I'm saying? Hybrid or whatever. So we have a couple of features in this epilogue that I want to continue further in Occult Microbiology 102. So we starting out with the cell city. Now this is important because we got to go all the way back. And yep, we are going backwards in this ebook. Nothing wrong with going backwards. That's how you go to your origin point. Very highly esoteric occult understanding. So we're going back to this post about the most holy nucleus. So we already established in this post, using this diagram from themostholyplace.com, that the Holy Tabernacle, or Solomon's Temple, you can even put that there, is really talking about the cells in your body and the organelles within those cells. So you see how each of these compare to or are correlated to a organelle within the cell of your body. Because you have to understand, again, alchemy is really talking about a sacred or occult form of microbiology. So when I say occult microbiology, I'm talking about alchemy. We're talking about alchemy here. And we know that these alchemists wrote these books that have been compiled to become what is known as the Holy Bible. You know what I'm saying? So within this Holy Bible, they're talking about this, most holy place, the pillars, Ark of the Covenant. There's a whole fucking movie, the Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Indiana Jones movie, dealing with this image or this thing. Ropes, table of shoe bread, you know what I'm saying? Courtyard fence, brazen layer, food offerings, candlestick, vesicles. And they was all talking about this whole time the cells of your body, the whole time. The whole fucking time. That's what they was talking about. And then those who don't understand alchemy and haven't decoded the Bible, and we talking about centuries and centuries and centuries on top of centuries of them not even being able to decode what was really being talked about, they took this shit literally. They took a literal version, you know what I'm saying, literally, try to create a real, or I ain't gonna say real, like a physical wooden box with two fucking statues of angels on top of it. Like you see in the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is all dealing with your microbes, B. Your cells, cytology. So if in the Bible they can sit here and deal with this type of revelation in science, well, let's go back forward. Let's go forward again. Now we get into somebody who did the same type of analogy, but compared it to a whole fucking city. They compared it to a metropolitan area, a town, a borough. You know what I'm saying? Borough. Not borough, borough. A township. I'm from New Jersey. You know how many townships there are? I don't even know why they even start up that concept of township. Nigga, just call it a town. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, like I said, this person, Natalie, at nataliecellproject.weebly.com. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm calling this person Natalie. I'm whoever made this website. Natalie probably, like I said, I don't suspect Natalie to be into any type of occult or alchemical, you know what I'm saying, any type of spiritual or esoteric or arcane knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I'm not assuming that. You know what I mean? Because perhaps she is, perhaps she isn't. But it doesn't look like she is. Because this could just be somebody that just studies biology, microbiology, just on, the mundane level, like they do at, these universities and colleges. And she saw that the activities that the organelles within the cell are doing are can be very much compared to things in the city. like a city hall, or you have an atmosphere of, you know what I'm saying, being outside in some sort of piece of land, or maybe in the city itself. You have police officers, city hall fence with a security guard, office within the city hall, because we know that the nucleolus is something within the nucleus. Food producing factories, you know what I'm saying? Streets, manufacturing plant, post office, my nigga, garbage disposal. I think they come and take our garbage on a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. When they come take y'all trash out, where you live at. You know what I'm saying? What else? Vacuoles that are correlated to warehouses or stores. So have you been to Walmart today? You know what I'm saying? Target or whatever. Have you been to the Chinese place? Eat Chinese food? I wouldn't eat it. Have you been there eating that lately? Went to the mall, baby, give me a sweater. I got 2 sweaters. You know what I'm saying? I got a pair of jeans. You know what I'm saying? So and then even getting into botany, where you deal with plants, which is the chloroplast, compared to solar energy plants. So again, without her assuming that, she's not into any type of esoteric occult knowledge, this Natalie person, she came up with these comparisons, these analogies, these correlations. Apply the law of analogy. As above, so below. As within, so without. As it is in heaven, so it is on earth. This is important to this occult microbiology study. Very highly important. So if you got the Bible sitting here telling you about this shit in secret, in allegory, and then you got a person out here that may not know anything about that, and she's just giving you regular ass microbiology, what can we fucking conclude? Let's go back to my dream genome thesis. Because I compared the cell to a clock into your birth chart wheel that you see in your birth chart, the horoscope. And then getting into, you know what I'm saying, solar systems and shit, and astronomy. How they saying that these planets revolve around these constellations, which is kind of like, where we get in, or, becomes part of the basis of astrology. Me as an astrologer, you know what I'm saying? So what can we conclude? You go to an actual place when you dream. But where do you go? You go right in here. You go right up in this mug. Right up in here. That's where you be at. You are looking in your dream at a coded depiction of what's going on in your cell city. Or the Holy Tabernacle. That's where you be at when you dream. Maybe in different locations within the cell. Perhaps you be in different types of cells. Like, for example, perhaps you go into a neuron, or maybe you go into a blood cell. You go into a white blood cell. You go into a heart cell, lung cell. That's something that I'm still, you know what I'm saying, studying and getting more knowledge and information about. But you go into a cell nonetheless. And I would say to make it more, what can I say? Like, to make it more specific, what would make more sense is that you go into your master cell when you dream. Or you scale down your consciousness into your master cell, which was the very first cell that began your physicality. When your mother's egg was struck by your father's sperm cell and conception happened. Because now we're getting into the science of embryology, or the metaphysics of it, the metaphysics of embryology and embryogenesis, or conception itself. So before you became a physical thing, or you believe yourself, or think of yourself, or operate a physical body, not spiritual, a physical body, it started out as a microscopic zygote, microscopic cell. That was your first Earth. Hell yeah, it's about to get occult in this motherfucker. Can you feel it? You was in that cell. That's where you were, as a consciousness, as a mind. That's where it all began for you as far as this incarnation is concerned. Because then, you know what I'm saying, I don't know if you know about reincarnation and all that shit. But, you know, just dealing with it on that level. You started right there as a mind within a single cell. Then mitosis happened, where it started to divide until it became trillions of cells in your body, billions of trillions, you know what I mean? Then it was ready for you to be ejected from your mother's vagina, and you was out on this physical earth here. Did you like the ride? You know what I'm saying? Because see, now it reminds me of, you know, I don't know if you ever heard of this before, where you can, the first trauma you experience before you come to this, before you're born out of your mother's womb, is the trauma of birth. Because I've dealt with this subject before, you know what I'm saying, over the years of me being on social media. How you have to go back to that trauma. You have to deal with your baggage, right? So whether you were abused or not, whether you were sexually abused or you went through some traumatic experiences as a child or not, everybody went through that traumatic experience of being born, like being pushed through your mother's vagina, being pushed through her womb into her birth canal, and out you go. Even if you was born cesarean, like you was a C-section baby, C-section child, it was still a traumatic experience because it was the womb that you were in, that home, being cut open and you being taken out of your mother's womb like that. That's still a traumatic experience. So each and every human being, or who you want to call human, or even any animal, any creature that was born that way, like through the womb and also through cesarean birth or a C-section, you have that trauma with you. So we got to go backwards in time with this shit. That's also involved in this shit, because what else can you add into this discussion? Do you know about this whole NDE thing, near-death experience? Have you ever heard of that? Where people say, like right before they thought they was about to die, your life flashes before your eyes. And it's like you're going backwards through time of the events that occurred in your life. Have you ever heard of that? This shit ties into this whole fucking occult microbiology shit. It ties right into it. I forgot the book where it was talking about. I forgot the name of the fucking book. I forgot the name or the author. Where they was talking about people reporting that when they had a near-death experience, they had their life flashed through their eyes, but in reverse. Obviously, if, like, for example, let's say a person is, I don't know, they like 66 or whatever, and they, you know, they maybe, or I ain't gonna go that old. Let's say they, I don't know, they like 48 or something, and they had a near-death experience. Perhaps they was in a car accident, and they thought they, you know what I'm saying, they thought they was about to physically transition out of here, you know what I'm saying? They would report experiences that their life flashed backwards, going all the way back to when they was in their mother's womb. So this shit all ties together, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with this right here. See, this is your starting point for your physicality. This is your starting point. Not when you came out the womb, while you were in the womb, and going all the way back to the point where you were conceived, when that egg cell and that sperm cell became one thing. Because what I suspect about that is when conception happened, a wormhole opened up. A black hole opened up, and then your soul or your spirit body or whatever came through that microscopic wormhole to then possess that zygote that becomes your physical body. Ooh, now we getting depthical into your origins. This is initiation we're talking. This is the science of initiation we're talking about. This is your humble beginning. You were a microscopic cell before you were a multicellular one. And you see how all these viral capsids is there, like we were talking about in the earlier, what was it, the last video we did, the volume 6 of this series. I just put a post up today, you know what I'm saying, at the posting of this video, this volume 7. I put up a post today talking about, I ain't put a caption to, I just put a post where it was talking about, it gave the Vesica Pisces, right? You know the Vesica Pisces, where it's two circles that are interlocked, and then it's that space in the middle that looks like the opening of a vagina. Because people keep comparing that to a vagina, when I'm comparing it to the wormhole or the black hole that opened up the moment you were conceived as a zygote, that fertilized zygote, that sperm egg cell conjunction or mix together, or that you know what I'm saying, amalgamation. Because that was your first Earth. Once again, Earth cell is correlated to each other. Right now in this physical dimension, you are a protein within the Earth cell. That's what we know in occult microbiology. So this is why, embryogenesis and conception on that level is a very important thing for me to study right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much importance that you're going to put on it after, listening to what I'm saying, but that's the importance I'm putting on it. You know what I'm saying? That was my origin. So you got to go backwards through that development of you being this multicellular adult being or adult human. Got to go backwards now through time, or backwards through your development. Because do you even remember what was going on with when you was in your mother's womb? Do you remember those things? Because like I said, there's hypnotic techniques and all these different things you could do to bring those memories back to your consciousness or to your mind. Not to say they left your mind, let me rephrase that. To recollect them. They're in your memory bank. So when you go through initiation, that's the shit that comes up. And it's a lot of shit that niggas do not want to face when they go through that. Hell, the shit that happened to you while you was here on Earth as a little baby, like as a little kid, a toddler. You know what I'm saying? You got to go back through those events. Return, nigga. Sankofa. That's what this shit is about. Niggas think they gonna go through, they gonna get into the metaphysical realms without going through that process of going back to when you were first a cell and then going from there. No, nigga, you gotta go through that cell. The eye of a needle. Like the post I put up today, the eye of a needle. Why would they put that in your Bible? That's the proof right there that these people that created these books for the Bible, they were alchemists. Dealing with microbiology before it was even called that. And these Nile Valley these civilizations knew about this. They knew this science up and down. So again, niggas talking about they going here, they going there. No, nigga, you going back to your original cell. You know what I'm saying? That's where you began. Where else you think you going back to that city? You going to that cell city? Fuck you think you going? And then they have all these fucking movies, especially the first Avengers movie. The very first Avengers movie with the Hulk and the Iron Mans and the Captain Americas, all them niggas. Oh, in that movie, what at the end, the ending of the movie, like the climax of the movie, where the alien race, the alien armies invade Earth. What do you think they trying to tell you in that movie? Because again, you're dealing with the wormhole. You're dealing with a black hole. It's a wormhole or a black hole in the movie where those alien creatures that you're calling extraterrestrials or aliens, they come through that wormhole in the sky and then they invade New York City. Ah, nigga, nigga. Ah, shit. Y'all better start decoding them. You better start decoding what you watching. And then there was a movie that came out around the same time. It was a few movies that came out at the same time with this same concept. What's the movie called? This Is the End. It was a Seth Rogen movie. You know what I'm saying? The Seth Rogen movie where he had Jonah Hill, James Franco, the Craig Robinson, the big black dude in the movie. You know what I'm saying? It's the movie where it's like an Armageddon type of movie. It's like where all these like demonic alien or demon creatures start invading the earth and start turning the earth into a living hell. It's a comedy though. You know what I'm saying? Seth Rogen in it. So at the end of the movie, or throughout, it's not even just at the end. Throughout the movie, certain people get beamed up into the sky. Like certain people are chosen to get beamed up to heaven. You know what I'm saying? While other motherfuckers get killed down here on the earth. What do you think they fucking talk about in these movies? Nigga, they just showed you a fucking wormhole in the cell of you know what I'm saying, the city, the cell city. So the movie is about fighting these creatures or these things coming in through the wormhole. They even deal with this in the Avengers Infinity War. They deal with the same fucking concept. You know what I'm saying? Where you know, they put this big ass dome over Wakanda, and then these creatures are trying to get through the dome. Nigga, this is they're talking about microbiology. In any movie dealing with a fucking wormhole or black hole or portal to other dimensions, nigga, they talking about the fucking wormhole and black hole in the cells of your body. Just like is being talked about in Judy K. King's Balls of Fire, Isis Thesis, or all her other work. That's what they talking about. Because that's how you, that's how you got here into your original cell. Your mind came through that fucking black hole or that wormhole to get into that cell, that conception cell, that sperm egg cell that your mother and father provided for you to, you know what I'm saying, to be here. Hell, we can even introduce something that you might not know about as far as what each parent provides to the child. We notice in Occult Cosmology that your mother provides the blood and your father provides the spirit. Not the soul though, because we make that distinction in Occult Cosmology. Your sunsum and your soul is distinct from each other. Because you can have a sunsum and you don't have a soul. And we can see that in people out here walking the earth right now. We can see who's who with that. You know what I'm saying? It's obvious. And then knowing that your soul will leave you if you get too condemned or malignant or out of alignment. So knowing that your father provides a spirit, and this goes back to solar phallic energy within his semen or his sperm, right? And then your mother has the egg and she bleeds that out every 29 days, right? Every 28, 29 days. So like I said, your mother gives you your blood, your father gives you your sunsum, or it comes through him. Then the soul comes from a different dimension. It comes from a different world. Or like I said, like just using that type of terminology. So you become a three triangular type of thing. So this can even tie into this whole shit about, you know, the Trinity. Nigga, the egg cell, the sperm cell, and the soul. You know what I'm saying? But you got to go to the cell city. You got to go to the holy tabernacle, the cell. Because this is the gateway between worlds in the metaphysical and this physical world. You got to go through the cell, which was your original city, your original Earth. Hell, we can even look, like I said, look through it. Look how they compare to different things in the city. How they talk about, I think, do they talk about this in certain religions where there's a magic city or like a place you need to go to? Perhaps Atlantis is nothing but the fucking first cell in your body. Y'all niggas talking about a physical Atlantis. No, what if they talking about this cell? Your first cell, the zygote. Because they keep making movies about it, you don't even fucking know what they talking about. They keep putting this wormhole or this black hole or this portal within the movie's narrative. And saying that we should be killing or defeating or fighting something off coming through that portal. Nigga, they trying to reprogram you at the cellular level of your body. You know what I'm saying? And y'all need to think, y'all, like you like this is something that you think you're gonna bypass in your spiritual, conscious, occult journey. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying, the work that you think you're doing. No, nigga, we know that we go back to this place within our being, on the microscopic level of our being. Look at them. Because people they couldn't even conceive of. There's people like you watching this. I know that you can conceive of what I'm talking about. Like you damn near we're on volume 7 of this series, right? You should now understand what we're talking about with the cell by now. You know what I mean? And then you after this videos, then you go amongst people. You may be amongst people that have no fucking clue what's going on in their body. It's just like what album was that? A Wu-Tang album. Ghostface Killer. Ghostface's album, his first album, Iron Man, where they had Papa Wu, who's like the mentor to the Wu-Tang Clan. He died last year, I think, or earlier this year, I believe. And Papa Wu, like he would come on like their albums and like spit that, you know what I'm saying, that 5% knowledge. You know what I mean? So on the song Black Jesus on Ghostface's Iron Man album, Ghostface Killer, you know what I'm saying? You have Papa Wu sitting here telling the Wu-Tang Clan that, do you know if a man sees what's going on inside him, he will fall out and die? Like if you turn him inside out and he saw what was going on inside him. So even right there, this man was sitting here talking some occult microbiology right there in your face for those of you who've listened to the album. You know what I mean? Where my Wu heads at? Wu-Tang Clan, you know what I mean? This man sat here and said that. If you saw what was going on within you, any average person that has nothing, they know nothing about this microbiology, nothing about occult knowledge, metaphysics, or nothing. They don't know that they have entire cities and star systems within their blood, within the organs in the endocrine systems of their body. Don't even know it. Completely clueless, completely in the dark, but dream about it every fucking night. You know what I'm saying? Dream about it every damn night, whether they remember it or not when they wake up in the morning. And then I seen like a couple people sitting here saying that they was listening to, somebody else or some other people breaking down Judy K. King's books or whatever. And they said that the other people was more spiritual and I was more scientific in my approach to this work, or to Judy K. King's work. And I'm like, okay, I understand. Okay, I see what you're saying. But then I also have to say, like, how is what I'm talking to you not spiritual? You know what I'm saying? I am using some Western science concepts. Yes, I am. You know what I'm saying? Because I have to start you someplace. You know what I'm saying? Everybody isn't on the same level. But if you really think that you are going to bypass that master cell in your body, that zygote, that original cell, that was your original Earth, your original place of residence, and you think you're going to bypass that and go to whatever fucking spiritual dimension, nigga, you must be out your motherfucking, I ain't even gonna say out your mind, nigga, you must be on something else that we ain't even heard of, some designer drug that we ain't heard of yet. How you just gonna bypass that? You can't bypass that, nigga. That's how you got here. And from that gateway through which you got here is the same gateway in which you get out. So I don't know where y'all think y'all going physically. Like, I don't know if you trying to go I don't know where you think you're going. I wish you safe travels. Bon voyage. You know what I'm saying? Take my top hat off. Bon voyage. That little painter hat that French people wear. Bon voyage. You know what I'm saying? You go where you going, I'm going where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? I'm going back to my master cell, my zygote, my original cell. That's where all the signs are pointing. I don't know if you got lost along the way that you want to go here or go there. Nah, nigga, come this way. I'm pretty confident that we're dealing with we're going back through the way we came in. Returning on some Sankofa. Because they like to deal with Sankofa on a mundane level of like going back to Africa. Nah, it's way more depthical than that, ma'am, sir. It gets way more depthical than that. You know what I mean? Earth is not your first home. And like I said, they making movies about this shit. But like I said, when you know the comparison between all of this, or you know what I'm saying, dealing with the organelles within the cell, like I said, you can even what else can we incorporate into this? Have you ever seen anybody make a comparison between the top view of a city and a circuit board? Like if you was like in a helicopter or within a plane right above like a metropolitan area like New York, Washington, D.C., or, you know, San Francisco, L.A., Dallas, and it looks just like a circuit board as you're looking down at the city. Now throw in what you know about the cell and know about like electrolysis and electrochemicals and electricity that runs through the cell by studying Gilbert Ling's work about induction association of a hypothesis. And knowing that the protein has an electrical charge that determines its activity and behavior within the human body. Or within any type of body, whether it be a plant, animal, or whatever. Then throw in clocks and throw in the astrology wheel or the birth wheel, or the birth chart wheel, or the horoscope from astrology. This shit all fits together, fam. It fits all together. So give that a read if, like I said, you downloading this ebook. And then I put a note down here talking about, you know, the reasons why I put this Cell City organelles analogy into, you know, this ebook is, number one, I'm giving further validity to the dream genome thesis that I put forth. You know what I'm saying? So again, comparing this also to the most holy nucleus post about the Holy Tabernacle being a coded interpretation of the cell in your body. The Holy Tabernacle is microscopic. It's your cell. The second reason I put this in here is because, you know, in like with Natalie's comparison here, and then with the Holy Tabernacle decoding, is the cell more like a city or is it more like the entire earth? So this kind of challenges what I'm saying. And I'm, like I said, I'm humble to that. Because maybe the cell is more like a city than it is like an entire earth mass. Because that's what Judy K. King was saying in her work. You know what I'm saying? That the earth and the cell are analogous to each other. They're correlated. They're isomorphic to each other, where they have the same pattern and the same setup, same format, same structure, same activity. You see what I'm saying? So I'm humble to that, because maybe that's what it is. You know what I mean? And then all the cells, each being cities, you know what I'm saying, make up the physical composition, and that's where I become the actual earth. Because we go, like, going back to the 5% thing, you know what I'm saying? You know how they say the nations are gods and earths. How the gods are the men and the earths are the women. And your old earth is your mother. You know what I'm saying? These are the terms that they use to describe women. So, like I said, again, going back to Occult Cosmology, we understand that earth, and I understood this before I even got into Occult Cosmology. Everything physical is feminine. The spiritual is masculine. The Occult have known this for thousands of years. So I don't know what type of conceptions y'all niggas have about metaphysics or whatever, but this is an age-old, ancient knowledge about what all this shit is. And I told you maybe in a post, maybe months ago, if you follow me on Instagram, it was a post where I was talking about how the material of something is feminine, but the form it takes is masculine, because that form originates in the spirit or in the ether. So it deals with that. If you deal with a man-woman relationship, the man is the one who provides the structure, and the woman provides the support. Now, I know this shit can get, you know what I'm saying, it's not always the case in every relationship out here, but I'm just saying, like, that's the original format of this shit. This is going beyond dicks and pussies now. You know what I'm saying? And titties and beards. No, we're going beyond your physical sex. You know what I'm saying? This is beyond that. Anything that's physical, even if I'm a male human, or I'm a male, like I have a male and I'm a physical body, like I'm experiencing a physical experience, that physicality is feminine. The spirituality or the spiritual format that my body takes is masculine. Don't matter who, if you're dealing with a woman's body or a man's body. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, you have to know the law of analogy. You have to apply the law of analogy in these situations. So the holy city, my nigga, is within you. I'm pretty sure, like I said, go back into your sacred text and they talk about this shit. I know the Bible has passages about going to this holy Jerusalem, or, you know what I'm saying, the Holy Land. But they got y'all thinking that it's an actual physical place in this fucking illusion out here. No, it's within you. Jerusalem is within you. They even call the spiritual centers the endocrine glands along the base of your spine that y'all niggas like to call chakras or whatever. They had names too. They're places within you. You are a temple. You have an address. You are localized in the physical realm. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this woman who probably knows nothing about this shit that I'm talking about made this website and sat here and compared all these organelles to the things that go down in a city, that things that are involved within the everyday operations of a city. And then I come up with my own chart known as the astro-endocellular chart, where we get into comparing the organelles to the functions within astrology as far as the planets is concerned. So the nucleus is the sun. Do you want to fucking debate that? Do you want to argue about that? Do you have an issue with me making that comparison? You know what I mean? Because some people they'll find an issue about that. They'll nitpick that and say, no, that's not what it is. Okay, tell me how it's not. Tell me how the cytosol, which is the structured water within the cell, is not like the moon and doesn't relate to the moon. And how the moon, when we deal within the physical plane or in this illusion, the moon is responsible for the tides moving on the ocean. And we can go on and on and on, baby. Am I done? My love. And again, this chart is something I made right around the time where I was creating the dream genome thesis. And when I came out with that post about the astrobiological clock, right before I put out my dream genome thesis. So I had this in the works. So I have it saying as rough draft because again, this could be changed or altered in future time. But for now, this is what we're talking about. Because comparing the horoscope or the birth chart wheel to the clock and then to the cell itself, this is the comparisons we're making. So when you go into your dream space, you're dealing with people or figures that represent this right here, these planets or archetypes that the planets represent. So these organelles represent archetypes. Let me get a swig of the water. Hold on. So let's just deal with the sun and the moon. So for example, sun, we're making a correlation to the nucleus in the cells of your body, right? So the nucleus holds the DNA. It holds the strands, you know what I'm saying? The helices, you know what I mean? That's the control center of the damn cell. Everything in the cell follows what the sun or the nucleus is doing. What the nucleus puts forth, the cell comprehends, and the cell falls in line with that until you have cancerous or wayward proteins that go up against the grain of what was laid down. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of scientists out there, they, like some of them, not all of them, they make that or they make that study that it's really the proteins that go wayward. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they even go back into the gene sequences, like there's some sort of corruption in the gene sequence, quote unquote corruption, that then when it comes time to the assembly of amino acids and proteins in the cell, they get a corrupted creation, and then those corrupted proteins do damage or do some dysfunctional work within the body. But the cell is the center. Not the cell. The nucleus within the cell is the center, just like the sun is. So this is why I'm like, from this understanding about the cell, I doubt if the sun is beyond the atmosphere of this planet or this earth. So that goes for the moon as well. That goes for all the other planets too. That you know what I'm saying, you study in astronomy. What if all that shit is within this fucking atmosphere? And they're sitting here lying to you or giving you false information like NASA and all that. NASA niggas. You know what I'm saying? Sitting here giving you false information about what the fuck is going on beyond this atmosphere or this atmosphere itself. Because making the comparison between nucleus and sun, okay, if you're saying that the sun is beyond this atmosphere of the earth, that would mean the nucleus is beyond that fucking cytoplasm and cell membrane of the fucking cell. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? You feel me? And just like how I said, if what we know about stars, we compare it to viruses. What we know about viruses, we compare to stars, right? So the same thing with nucleus and the sun, right? So if we know what's in the fucking nucleus of a cell, we should now know what's in that motherfucking sun up there in the sky. I remember somebody telling me, I forgot who it was, maybe perhaps you've heard them say it too, I forgot who said it. But they said that the ancestors be beaming down information through the sun. Just like within the nucleus of your cell, DNA information is radiating. See, that's another thing about DNA. It radiates. Color body, chromosome, color body literally means chromocolor, some body, chromosome, chromatin. All this stuff within the nucleus of the cell. Liquid crystal DNA. Have you ever heard of that? I don't know if did I put that in here? This may be a post I forgot to put into this ebook where it's talking about liquid crystal DNA. Like your DNA is liquid, literal liquid crystal. And it radiates, because we're going now into the science of wave genetics and wave genome theory with Peter Garriev, that Russian scientist I've been talking about lately, or within the ebook. You see what I'm saying? Had to, you know what I mean? Some of this shit, maybe it made you pause as you're eating, the snack that you got in your hand right now or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because some people be listening to this shit at work. And I thank you for, risking your work to listen to me. You know what I mean? The supervisor come through, you gotta hurry up and put your fucking earphones. Gotta hide your earplugs and shit, your little earbuds and shit. I don't know, maybe your workplace is lax. They let y'all listen to shit on your phone or whatever. You know what I mean? But you should always get out of a company the moment they start saying that you gotta get off your phone. That means your time with that company is finished. But anyway, I got sidetracked. So again, what we know about the nucleus, we put it with the sun. What we know about the sun, we put it with the motherfucking nucleus in the cell. Same thing with the cytosol and cytoplasm in the moon. They say your body is 70 or to 75% water. Yeah, remember that? And for you dehydrated niggas, perhaps it's 60 to 55%. I don't know. Drink some more water, my nigga. But yeah. So you know how the moon represents your base, like your foundation. It represents that home, your mother. It represents that support system, your rootedness, your foundation. What can be more foundational than the water in your body? And not just water, structured water. Water that has memories. You ever heard of that study, how water has memory and shit? And then there was that Asian dude, the Japanese dude, that said you can speak to the water and you can change its molecular structure and shit like that. So not just water, structured, printed water. Like water that has imprints in it. That's the moon in your body. So when we get into astrology, like I'm an astrologer, so when we get into astrology, moon represents all these things. It represents your soma. You know what I'm saying? Like the water in your body, it's structured, imprinted, impressed. Because moon is an impressionable planet or impressionable thing in astrology. So whatever's aspecting the moon or whatever the moon sign that it's in, it's a very impressionable orb or a very impressionable planet as far as astrology is talking about. So whatever is touching it or making an angle to it or wherever it's located, it's very impressionable. Whatever is, making an angle to it or aspect to it is imprinting on your moon. This is why I say the first 7 years of your life is your moon phase. The very first 7 years of your life is the moon phase. This is where your behavioral template is established for the rest of your fucking life until you do the inner work to make changes. Notice how the moon and the mother relate. This is where your family comes in too. Because your mother is the first teacher. She's the one that held you, in her womb and whatever. So that's why the moon represents the mother and stuff like that. So all those imprints that happen to you in those first 7 years is pretty much impressed upon you. It's that water. It's that moon represents that water in your body, the structure the water takes. Because that's your center of behavior. That's your center of reactionary behavior. This is how you behave. So when things happen to you, like especially when it's sudden, your immediate reaction to things and how you behave and your habits is all represented by the moon in your chart. You feel me? So what we know about cytosol and cytoplasm, we put it to the moon. What we know about the moon, we put it to the cytoplasm and the cytosol in the cell. Look it over again. I need you to absorb it. Absorb it for me. Assimilate this knowledge. Wake up, if you would. Jerusalem, we're going to Jerusalem. New Jeru. I'm from Jersey. We call that New Jeru. Jerusalem. New Jeru. We're going to Jerusalem, nigga, within. Don't have niggas out here leading you astray, my nigga. Leading you here and say you gotta go there. You gotta go to fucking Tibet or to fucking Himalayas or whatever the fuck. Or to the action, you know what I'm saying, the Jerusalem that they got over there in the Middle East and shit. No, nigga, the Jerusalem is within you. You are the Israelite. Israel is in your body. That makes you an Israelite. The fact that you have gone to that place and have done the alchemy there. Visit the interior of the earth, and correcting what you find there, you will find the hidden stone. Vitriol. Alchemy. I'm giving some time for it to soak in if you don't already know this stuff. So again, lucid dreaming. That's a way that this shit can be worked out. Because I think I said this before. Like people when they get into lucid dreaming, like they don't really have a plan of execution to put into place. It's usually them just flying and having sex with celebrities, which is cool. I am not against that in no fashion or form. I already know what's going on in microscopic level of your body when you dream anyway. That's what this whole thing is about, the dream genome thesis. But when you get into the lucid dream and you know what to do, where you can make genetic changes to your body, like genetic changes in your spirit body, and you can go to the fucking Israel or the Jerusalem that they keep talking about within yourself, within like that cell city, your zygote, the sperm cell, egg cell of your father and mother joined as one. That's where we going. Stop letting niggas lead you astray. Where else is there to go? That's the way you got here, and that's where you shall return. Look at the Keppera beetle with the dung that is rolling on. It's facing one way, but going backwards. By rolling that dung, what do you think this shit is talking about? Or the Sankofa bird that's facing forward, or its body is facing forward, but its head is turned back, and it's eating that egg. What do you think they're talking about? Who do you think that symbolizes? Come home. That's what that shit is. Come back to where you were. Start letting niggas lead you this way and that. I implore you. And really, right now, that's all I have for you right now. So we're going to cut this. This is volume 7. So my name is Alex Will 64. And before I book out, before I get out of here, you know what I'm saying? Let me just do a quick addressing of things as far as comments and messages, you know, in my posts, videos, and inboxes or whatever. Let me just make a quick thing because I don't feel like really addressing anybody individually. You know, I don't need to say names or whatever. All I'm going to say is, like I said, man, I know what I'm bringing forth is shaking up the room. You know what I'm saying? That's what I came to do with this shit. We need to progress this thing forward. Now, I'm not saying what I'm telling, or I'm not saying like what I'm presenting is something new to humanity. Like it's something where it's like, oh, nobody ever heard this before. I'm pretty sure people will have already figured this out before me, and shall they figure this out after me? You know what I mean? I'm just saying that for those who don't know or wasn't on this right now, or you know what I'm saying, prior to listening to this type of stuff, you know what I mean? I know it's shaking up some of the foundations that you may have had. You may have been thinking one way, and you may have been, on this ideology or on that type of occult knowledge or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps you was being led astray. It's okay. You can get back on track. This is about alignment. I'm into alignment. Getting back into a divine alignment. In Shei alignment. This is what this is. This is what it's all going back to. It's okay to get you find out you're out of alignment and get back into it. That's what I'm doing. Because now I have no misconceptions. I have no doubts. I have no what else? I don't have. I'm not wavering about where I need to go or what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully by dealing with this occult microbiology 101 ebook, you get some direction too. That's why I don't need to listen to what everybody the fucking is saying. Because I don't know, I don't like some of the directions people are going in. I don't need to go in your direction. I got my own. And in the direction that I'm going in, my divine aligned direction, I get the knowledge that I need. As for, and you know what I'm saying, as opposed to dealing with somebody's false or pseudo or miscombobulated or inaccurate information, short-sighted information, narrow-minded information, intentionally misguiding information. You know what I'm saying? I don't have enough time in the fucking day to know who think of what. I'm on my own journey. You know what I'm saying? And I'm only here to, see if I can be of assistance in yours. All that other shit about, y'all sit here trying to, throw shade because maybe you listen to somebody else deal with this type of shit and you think that, I'm out of place for what I'm saying, or that what I'm saying has no validity, or excuse me, not validity, validity, or no merit to it. Fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully. You know what I mean? You want to challenge the information? Fine, do that. You know what I'm saying? Do that. You can challenge what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to throw shade when you do it. And that's all I wanted to say. My name is I'm shaking up the room. My name is AlexWill64. You know what I'm saying? acrosensum.com, ether-ins.teachable.com. You can catch me on Instagram, AlexWill64, EtherRealist. Cashapp is available out there, $ AlexWill64, Venmo at AlexWill64, and I'm out. Catch me in my next video. Yeah. Oh, yeah.